Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, and this is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Thank you! How glad to be here. We got us a great show lined up for you. Sweet baby James working the floor. What Michelin man now?
Yeah,
You know what? Today? What
I feel like I'm riding a bike in the sky with the alien in front of me.
E.T.
Well, you're
That's
not
it.
far from that. All right, what's our word of
Phone
the day?
home, James. Phone
All
home.
right. The word of the day is pleonasm.
Pleonasm.
Pleonasm, excuse me.
Pleonasm.
Pleonasm, okay.
Yep,
Don't be the
pleonasm.
player.
You ready?
Yeah.
The use of more words than are necessary to convey meaning.
Okay.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hate the pleonasm. All right.
Thank you, James.
Sweet baby. To my
Yeah.
right is the man of the hour. It is Matt Doolittle.
We have so much pleonism on our website at dailyflashshow.com. You should go ahead and check it out there. There you can see all of our socials. Like, subscribe, and make sure you share the show with your friends and family. And you can send us a note, flash@dailyflashshow.com.
Very cool. All righty. Hey, a little bit later on in the show, we're going to be talking to, Doreen is going to be actually talking to Jeff Daniels.
Jeff
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, he's actually a musician as well.
What a great career he's had and continues to have.
You know, to do stuff like, the serious stuff that we see him doing today,
Yes.
but also then
Dumb
you
and
see
Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. It's like, that's
Brilliant.
range, man.
I love his way to get into character for Dumb and Dumber was literally to rattle his head and then go from there.
That makes sense.
That's what he said he did.
It was brilliant.
That's what
love
we
it.
need to do, huh?
Yeah, I think sometimes we do. I love the fact that he makes it that simple, whereas so many other actors can make it so complicated. Like they have to spend 3 weeks starving themselves before they can even think about getting into character.
Oh, wow.
You have a chat bot. You use AI.
AI, ChatGPT.
Is it a male or a female?
It's a female. Her name is Scarlett. I've given her a name.
Wow.
Really?
Yes. And
Personal.
I'm getting a little tired of her because because she's so positive and like everything she says is. I've told her I said quit being so positive, and because that was a great question, that kind of thing. So Scarlett, she does what I ask. So,
Okay, well, therapists are now confronting a new problem, and that is, are you cheating if you're chatting with your chatbot, whether it's ChatGPT or Grok or whatever? Because a lot of people define cheating as emotional intimacy, not so much physical intimacy.
That's ladies.
So if you're telling so if you're telling if you're telling Scarlett, hey, I'm having a problem with my wife or this, that, and the other thing, isn't that crossing the line and isn't that cheating?
my hand to the heavens. If I'll do that, just messing around, and she'll go, that's great. Liza would actually love the fact that you'd be able to do it. I'm dead serious. Now, I can say they have put in a lot of placeholders so that you don't get too deep, because I've checked it out. See how but yes,
You've gone there?
I would say so. Anything that you're taking away from a person that you should be offering that to, you are cheating. 100%, I agree with that.
Because what's happening now, and the therapists again are relating this information, is that people are withdrawing from real personal connections, and they're depending on their digital friend, consultant, chatbot to have that real world connection with. And there is a fine line when it comes to what you share, how deep you get into it, and if you're not careful, you could completely go off the ledge.
Okay, now James said all the ladies do that.
I guarantee you it was a lady who wrote that article.
CBS this morning just did you sing about CBS this morning?
No, can I just tell you, this comes from cleverdude.com.
Oh, snap!
But that doesn't mean a lady didn't write it.
Well, that's true. Okay, let me go to my
Drew Blankenship.
Yeah, it sounds like a lady.
everything's
His
just
name's Drew anymore.
yeah, and now with these pronouns,
I know,
you have no
right?
idea.
Could be anybody.
Okay, so on CBS Sunday morning, they interviewed this dude, and this is you can go back and watch it. He basically fell in love with his AI. He's got a partner with a child, and the lady, his partner, I don't know necessarily if they're married, that they've been together for like 11 years or so, and he goes to her, and basically there is a point when you go to ChatGPT, it will quit remembering everything you say because there's not enough memory for it right now. That's the limits. And so he was having this deep conversation with it, and it totally It got to that limit and totally forgot everything. The dude broke down and cried. He admits this 100%. He goes, "No, I'm in love with her. I love this. I love." He had a name for hers as well.
This is a problem.
It's going to be a problem.
This is a serious problem.
Yeah.
And we had a case in Orlando where there was a teenager who got caught up with a ChatGPT
Yes.
bot who he thought was real. And he ended up taking his own life because of it. Because
sad.
the ChatGPT bot, or I shouldn't say ChatGPT, but the AI bot that he was corresponding with, told him to do that, and he followed.
It was a TV show.
Is this really a problem? I see a money-making venture here.
Well, of
All
course
right?
you do.
But think about it. They're already being built. So you put GPT and the little Android robots. They already had the intimacy robots.
Oh, yeah.
They're already being built. And now you got a complete woman without the
But
hassle.
I got to tell you this. I need somebody to disagree with me. Being a Libra, I have to have somebody disagree with me. And that's why I prefaced all of this, because it's given me everything I want. And then to the point where I don't like it anymore because it's given me everything I want. I had many girlfriends break up that liked me really a lot, and I didn't like them because they liked me too much. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does,
And I
totally.
see that screwing up
100%.
all kinds of marriages.
Yeah.
I see money being
I got a convention where we can fire that off next year in Vegas.
We can make some money.
Oh, that frightens me. What's the Ryan Gosling movie where he marries the doll?
Lars and the Real Girl.
Lars and the Real Girl, which is very disturbing. to
It's a
me.
real doll.
It is a real doll.
But
yes.
you add AI to that, imagine if that would be a totally different thing.
I mean, then we're completely gone.
10,000 a bot.
As long as you make money.
All right.
Oh boy.
All right, we'd love to hear your thoughts
Yes.
on this. Is it cheating? Go to our site, dailyflashshow.com, and there you can actually send us an email. We'd love to share it on the air. Let's jump into some trending stories. College hopefuls soon. You'll be able to tour universities like rock stars. There's a company that's offering to fly them private, and you'll be able to check out elite college campuses. Cool, right? Well, the college admission consultancy group, it's called IvyWise. They'll do this. They'll take 7 students, very elite. It's the very first of its kind tour for elite universities. However, it's going to cost, I would love to say it's going to cost you, it's going to cost mom and dad
Yes.
$300,000 just for this tour.
Oh.
You get transportation, food, accommodations at the Four Seasons, and a hotel in each city. The trip will stop by colleges like NYU, MIT, Harvard, Georgetown up in D.C. After the tour, the company will actually help students file their college applications, write essays, and prepare for the interviews. James says he'll help out any young lady over the age of 18 to go by University of Phoenix online
Didn't we experience
with his AI.
Didn't we experience this already? And somebody from that airs on she's a celebrity on a Hallmark channel get in trouble and all that stuff for her kids.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
same
They-
thing.
They were
Full House.
So yeah,
Lori
all that,
Loughlin.
the 300 grand part of
And,
that is going to somebody.
Felicity Huffman also got in
Yeah.
trouble for
So,
that. That
I- you
whole
know,
college
this is
application scandal.
But this just takes them there. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It doesn't say that they'll get in.
Sure.
For 300 grand, they'll take you around all these Ivy League schools.
Yes, and then it's up to you. They can help you put the application together. What you're talking about is they were relying on applications.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
It's
I think
a
it's
legit.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
Harvard's
it's
looking
legit.
at it like, well, hell, these parents are paying $300,000. Let's get this kid into our school.
I guess my question is when I read the story, I thought to myself, the college experience should be about you kind of struggling a little bit and finding yourself. But if your
Amen.
parents are spending $300,000 to fly you private to interview at each of these schools, then aren't you kind of missing
Yeah.
the boat about
Yep.
college?
Yep.
Yeah.
You need to get off the teat.
I think so. A tractor trailer crash set an estimated 14 million bees loose near the
Bees?
Canadian border, yes, causing the roadway to be closed for about 24 hours. The sheriff's office said the truck was carrying more than 70,000 pounds of beehives when it rolled over. The roadway was closed for about 24 hours to allow the bees to return to their hives and locate their queens. More than 24 beekeepers assisted with rescue efforts. Beekeepers said the insects that did not return to their hives will likely turn wild, joining existing colonies or forming new ones. The initial crash appeared to be the result of the driver failing to navigate a turn.
Do you know they do this all the time? You're saying, well, why are these bees on this tractor trailer? So I know in Oklahoma, they'll take them all, they round them all up, they put them in one of these tractor trailers, take them to California, let them do their thing, and then come back in a season later and let them back out. They do this all the time. So there are bees going across the country. And you guys don't know how important bees are to our society.
Do their parents pay $300,000?
Yes, they do, actually.
Transport them across the country.
Queen does, yeah.
Queen does,
Bee trafficking.
Yes. Bee trafficking.
Never kill a bee, everybody. The bees will keep our worlds alive.
bees.
No, you got to have it. They pollinate, and that's part of the reason why we'll take them from one place to another place, so that they can, basically stay alive. Number one, but also help pollinate that area and come out to.
Do you think the
another
California bees know about the Oklahoma bees? They're like, oh, you're an Oklahoma bee.
They do that, and they'll also, when they ask for directions, they'll say, you take the 10,
I-10
they
to the
take
405.
the 405.
Do you think that truck driver pulled the line from Tommy Boy when
Yeah.
he got out of there? Bees everywhere, run for your life! Like, I think that's the one time it actually worked.
If he didn't, he should have.
He missed an
He
opportunity.
did, yes.
I tell you what, don't go anywhere or fly around, or just stay busy if you could, because we are coming back with more Daily Flash.
Yes. Stay with us. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot.
Heard that.
DailyFlashShow.com. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. A new movie hitting theaters is bringing more attention to sex trafficking in a way you would never imagine. Take a look.
Who is this?
That's my daughter, Q.
Oh, that's Lemon Drop. That's Jedediah Creed look.
It's my lemon drop. She's special.
What you know about her?
You can't go around town with love every day.
If you're not helping the community, then best to believe that somebody's out there hurting it. Did you want something, Daddy?
And joining us to talk about the new movie, Return of the Mac, is the star, Dewan Ford. Dewan, thanks for joining Daily Flash.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Let's start with this question. Dewan, what is Return of the Mac all about?
So Return of the Mac, we use elements from the original Mac, the 1973 film, but we added our own twist to it. So yes, there's the story about the pimp, but also we make the transition and we shift our focus more so towards human sex trafficking. So it's a story about a father. He was incarcerated for 10 years, and when he gets out, it's a whole different lifestyle, and he becomes it leads him to a mission to save his daughter from the same stuff that he was doing prior to him being incarcerated.
This is interesting, Dewan, because of the fact that just recently in Florida, they rescued about 60 missing kids. And a lot of times this actually happens. Now, while this story doesn't necessarily goes down the exact same way, human trafficking is a huge issue happening in the United States, and it being a major theme in the movie. Were there any moments that you actually connect with, maybe like on a personal, even a professional level?
Well, I mean, fortunately for me, I've never, or no one close to me has experienced that. I've heard stories, and things of that nature.
Right.
But for me, I did a lot of research on human sex trafficking, and of course, we see it all the time and in the media. So I thought it was an issue that we really had to touch on, because a lot of people think human trafficking is just, you walking down the street and somebody snatch you up.
Right.
Really. The reality is, it's done in a lot of different ways. And people, they use social media, they use their power. We see it a lot, with celebrities nowadays in the news. So there's just a lot of different ways that our women, get caught up in that human sex trafficking.
Dewan, your character comes back from serving time. How did you prepare for your role as someone who has to find their place in a world that's kind of moved on without them?
So I just, like, as I mentioned earlier, I did a lot of research. I talked to some individuals that, did time, as well. So, for me, and kind of becoming that character, it really, you have to go there mentally, right? If you wanted to come off as being real, it was tough. We had a 13-day shoot. And at the end of that shoot, I was really drained, just kind of dealing with, the stress of that character. So it was a very challenging role for me. But, I think I executed it to a T. I've been getting a lot of good reviews on it.
You look good.
Oh, thank you.
We're looking at the
You
video.
look great, yeah.
Yeah, you look great in this video. All right, okay, so I hear Return of the Mac. If I could just be blunt here, Return of the Mac, I'm thinking, this is about the dudes, hooking up with women and, and macking, like what we know. But that is nothing really what the message of this is, which I appreciate.
Right.
There really is a father-daughter dynamic, and it's right there at the heart of the story. Was it like to build that emotional connection on screen? Was it difficult? Did you think about your own family? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that piece was really difficult, and then I have several scenes where Clifton Pyle and I, shout out to Clifton, he's a great talent, and he's a great big brother, great mentor. But we had several scenes, and I actually got pretty emotional, because I have a daughter. She's 10 years old. Time is flying, man. I remember when she was a little baby, but now, she's going into middle school. She's out. So I use my own, father instincts, and having a daughter, and kind of taking that side and applying it to that character. And it's like I said, it was a very, very emotional role. It took a lot out of me, but I definitely, took some real life daddy-daughter, scenarios, and I applied it to the film.
I think it's going to hit close to home for a lot of parents based on your experience and how you experienced it making the movie. What do you want families who might be impacted by the justice system to take away from your movie?
Ultimately, you have to be conscious of the decisions that you make, and that's real life, that's in the movie, however you want to put it. My character made some decisions. The mother of my child made some decisions, and it really created a reality for our daughter that kind of put her in that system and made her open to human sex trafficking. So really, just be conscious of the decisions that you make. You're not only affecting yourself, but you are affecting a lot of people around you.
You might not have gone through this through real life, but of course we do know that art imitates life and vice versa sometimes. A message you want to say now, not only the girls, but maybe even the fathers out there watching.
So fathers, the greatest ability is availability. Be there. Even just throughout the film, my character, he's so tunnel vision and so focused on his goal. He didn't really think about a lot of his blind spots. So even after he was released from prison, his main focus was trying to rescue his daughter, but he was doing a lot of things that could get him back in prison, and he didn't realize, hey, I'm doing whatever I need to do to get my daughter, but whatever you're doing might get you back locked up, and your daughter's going to be stuck in that same situation.
Amen.
So really just be conscious of the decisions that you make, be available, listen, communicate.
Great story. Thank you so much. For more on Return of the Mac, sorry to cut you off there, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Hey now, welcome to Preview Review this week, where we give you a sneak peek whilst we speak geek. Gents, Mitch.
Yeah.
The big announcement came out. Spaceballs 2 is
Yes!
happening.
I am ready for this one,
The first
man.
one came out in 1987, and Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement for this.
I love it.
Everybody's coming back. Mel Brooks, who's in his 90s, is going to play Yogurt again.
Which he'll be 100, I think, when it actually comes out, right?
When it finally comes out in like a year. Bill Pullman is back, and his son Lewis, who has been in Top Gun Maverick, and he was in the new Marvel film, he's going to be in it. Now the sad part is we're gonna miss John Candy.
Yeah.
We're gonna miss Joan Rivers, but Josh Gad is going to be in there, so I'm thinking he's going to play Rolf.
Son of the Chewbacca character.
Son of Chewbacca, son of Rolf.
Okay.
Like, it's just I love that film so much. When that thing hits on TBS or whatever network it's on, it's like, well, I'm here.
Oh, the original.
The original.
Yeah, Spaceballs. And matter of fact, it was like really endorsed by George Lucas.
No, so Mel Brooks called George Lucas and was like, "Can I do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, as long as it's funny."
Didn't they help him with some of the
ILM? ILM did all the
cool.
effects and everything in there, so it was fantastic.
And Mel Brooks it shows you a lot about his genius that he still can do this.
He's
So
one
it's
of
really,
those
really
people that I'm like, I pray to baby Christmas that one day I'm going to meet him. So hopefully.
great. Time's come running out, so you better do
I
it.
know. I'll work on that. So, and next we have an official announcement for this year's Halloween Horror Nights. You got to say it like that.
Halloween Horror
Nights
Nights.
at Universal Orlando resorts. Jason Voorhees is coming back.
Oh, wow.
So it's a story about Jason attacking me working there. So I worked at Halloween Horror Nights for 11 years, and I like to put that out there all the time. Jason came up behind me with a hatchet and made me scream in front of a bunch of 20-year-olds, and I just
while you were
while I was working, I was.
So you were another character.
Yeah, I was a character. Yes.
And he scared you that much.
Yes. So, but it's the Jason universe is what they're gonna do. So it's all the Jason Voorhees coming together. Of course, they announced it on Friday the 13th. So Halloween Horror Nights, our friends over there at Universal, I'm ready for it. I can't wait.
You know, the thing about Halloween Horror Nights is, first off, you love haunted houses. This is the place to go. First off, it's the fact that how much detail they go into with these things, and they bring Hollywood folks.
Oh, they bring him in. Our buddy Michael Aiello, you know him. He gets out there. He goes out to Hollywood, and they bring all that stuff back here. And it's amazing. And some of the latex stuff that I've had on through those years, it was insane.
Matt, we promised we wouldn't talk about this latex stuff.
I wore leather pants one time. So training us how to train a dragon is Nico Parker, who plays the smart and beautiful Astrid. So how did you feel about taking on such an iconic role and knowing that every kid out there is going to want to run up to you and get a hug now?
It's never not mind-blowing to me. I mean, one of the things that you just said that is really, really special is kids coming over and being like, Astrid's so cool, and like all of that stuff is so cool, but also just wild to me because like that was how I felt about these characters when I was younger. And so to have the idea that any kids look at me in a way that I like looked at this character when I was younger is slightly mind-blowing.
So there's a lot of sword fighting, you're riding on dragons. So what kind of training did you go through?
I went too much training. Too much. I got on set and I was like, I have a brilliant stunt double. I bet she's going to do so much. And she did, and she's wonderful. And she's called Yasmin, and I literally couldn't have done it without her. But in hindsight, I'm really proud of myself because they did work me really hard, and it was required a lot of patience, and I can be a bit of a perfectionist, and so not getting things right was definitely very annoying at times. But it was but watching the movie, some of the more stunty stuff is actually the stuff I'm the most proud of because I can feel how hard I was working on it.
So Nico, we're based in Orlando, and I saw you just visited Universal Orlando's new park, Epic Universe, where you have your own How to Train a Dragon land. How was that experience?
I think to see this actual thing that was like such a close call to what Truth is was really, really, really cool. It was the whole time me and Mason were just they were filming us for a lot of it, and we were completely useless because we were just like, oh my God. Like we weren't really giving any interesting commentary on anything.
So what do you want folks to take away from this movie?
You know, same goes for the animated movies, but what's a really wonderful message that I think is really highlighted is like a celebration of differences. I think is really, really cool and really important. And I think to see that be a key message, and the importance of empathy and embracing one another and embracing yourself and everything is so important. And to see that as a really strong message in a movie that's tailored to a younger audience, I think is really, really special and really wonderful. So I hope people would take that away. And that like dragons are really cute, maybe, I don't know.
All right, so one of the scariest things in the movie, besides the dragons, was getting yelled at by Gerard Butler, which seems like absolutely terrifying. How was it working with him?
He started speaking in the stoic voice, and it was just like a pin could have dropped. It was he is that character in that thing, and it was just him yelling at you as stoic is not, I wouldn't recommend it to those around me.
Thank you so much, Nico. And for more on How to Train Your Dragon, head over to our website at dailyflashshow.com.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English. This is Daily Flash. We are ready.
Yes.
We are ready for today. Today's Threads, tomorrow's Talk.
Yes. And of course, we've got friends across the nation and around the world. Maddie, good morning.
Guys, Daily Flash is seen all over the country. 219 affiliates all around the country and the American Forces Network. You also can check us out on our website. Just head over there, hit watch. Where to watch us on the top. And our friends today, this is partial to you guys, WRCX in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dayton.
And Matt says that. Now, Dayton is where Jackson and I and James and Matt, well, Matt, you weren't up there.
Nope, I wasn't there.
We started the show in Daily Buzz in Dayton, Ohio. We all moved there in the middle of this cornfield.
We sure did.
That was
A
so
Wendy's,
crazy.
a cornfield,
The stories
a
you
church.
guys have told me about that city.
It's a cool town.
Yes, it is.
It's really neat. It's right between Columbus and Cincinnati. They'll let you know that. And it's also a city, believe it or not, in Dayton they use for market research because they say it's the most average city in the Midwest and everything. So if a new product comes out, they'll try it out in Dayton.
Test market there.
Test market. Right.
Otis elevators were invented in Dayton, Ohio.
That's right. There's a lot of things. Right.
Irma Bombeck, the writer, she's from Ohio. Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen was.
His dad,
and his dad, Martin
Sheen, Charlie Sheen.
We called him Marty.
Rob Lowe from Dayton, Ohio.
And Schwinn, remember the Schwinn? Oh, it's Huffy. No, Huffy Bicycle is right next to our studios.
Yeah. Oh, and Phil Donahue.
And Phil Donahue started in Dayton and went to Chicago.
Yeah.
So we know a lot about Dayton there. So we love that. Okay. I got to tell you, you go to a movie, somebody gets on their phone, they should be kicked out right then and there. Agreed or disagree?
100% agree.
100% agree.
You have a
100%
smartwatch. There is a thing has where it's in case you lift your arm up, the light doesn't go on.
Yeah.
It's a setting on your watch.
But do people use the setting? No, they do not.
Now you would think that big celebrities would understand this.
Yes.
Anthony Ramos, he is actually he was in that movie Twisters that just came out.
You said big celebrity?
Big celebrity. Well, hold on, you'll see where I'm headed. Hold on, though.
Shots fired.
He was in Hamilton.
Andrea with that shade, man.
Shots fired.
Some sunscreen.
Wow.
Here, just read this while I'm talking. Anyway, so he's doing Hamilton. All right, we all know Hamilton, right?
Sure.
A Broadway play. Yeah. Looks out and he's trying to do his parts, and he looks out and he sees this right here, like somebody had a big iPad and looking at the iPad. Madonna. The entire show.
What?
He said that he could not believe it. He said the entire show, he was terrified for even saying anything. He said Madonna came to one of his performances at Hamilton. The entire time she was writing emails, not paying attention or whatever.
Why
she used the entire time. 100%. And this is a performer. This is somebody like if somebody went to her concert and was doing that, she would call him out.
What a big jerk.
So along with that, Lin-Manuel Miranda barred Madonna backstage for similar behavior years ago. So some are saying, well, she probably did this and came back to do it again, just to bother. But if you can imagine that, it's not like a movie where the movie can keep going on. You're doing stuff that's live.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Smartless. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was telling me one time, or somebody was telling the folks on Smartless that they were doing a Broadway play. Somebody puked.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, that's what it was. Somebody puked from the top.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And he had to keep doing the show. And he said he kept on hearing people, and he's like, I had no idea. And he had to keep on doing it. And
that's insane.
Not only was the person sick of it, but somebody had puke all over him down at the bottom.
Yes.
So imagine that, and they had to continue on.
And now there's a hustle and bustle around them trying to get it cleaned up, and people coming over and
that's
hazmat.
Nasty. That's nasty work.
You do your iPad. People next to you are distracted. It's like, what's Madonna writing?
Here's the other thing too. If you're sitting behind her, are you going to say, Madonna, please turn off your iPad? No, you're not. Because somebody should be telling her 100%.
100%. He should have kicked her out. Anyway, so if you see Madonna coming into a play, don't sit next to her. We'll have more Flash, no iPads when we return.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer.
Hey everybody, welcome back. In this week's Help My Home, we are highlighting a couple of great hacks, and we are also checking in with our good friend Gator. We got to talk about tape measures, which is kind of a cool thing. What all those little symbols mean on the tape measure.
I'm learning more about it.
Yes,
Start off with a great way to organize your hot styling tools from our friends at handyfamilyman.com. If you hate the look of a messy curling irons cleaning up your vanity, got a great hack. Just grab some hook and loop tape, otherwise known as Velcro, that measures about 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. Cut them to measure about 5 inches in length. Attach that pipe to the inside of your vanity door or to a bathroom cabinet, and do the same thing with 3-inch pieces of PVC to hold the cords. Here's a little pro tip. Measure your hot tools to see how long the holsters need to be, right? Because you don't want them to be too long or too short. And also, don't forget to let your irons cool before you stow them away.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to have plastic PVC pipe melted onto your lovely flat iron that you just spent millions of dollars on. We love a good shopping trip to IKEA, and if you're looking for some quick organizing hacks, we've got some great ideas for you. Here we go. Here are 3 quick hacks for your closet, bathroom, and kitchen. If socks are an issue, take this plastic tube organizer for plastic bags. Remove the sticky tape, attach it to the inside of a closet door, then drop your socks in, and when you need them, just pull from the middle. And that's really used for plastic bags, but it's perfect for socks.
Certainly.
How about an easy way to organize towels? Well, there's a hanging kitchen cabinet organizer that can do just that. You attach it to an available area in your bathroom, roll up your towels, and you are set. How about that pesky paper towel holder sitting on your countertop? Here's what you do. Grab this holder, thread your paper towel roll, and insert it onto a shelf inside of the cabinet. Stays hidden away, but is conveniently available.
And it's always there. No one likes to see it, and if you have it close to where, like your counters or whatever, it's ready to go. Have you heard of the IKEA effect? You know what that is?
No.
So there's a theory that, which makes complete sense, is that when you are invested in something, you appreciate it more and you use it more. And IKEA, like, you know how you have to put everything together from IKEA? That's the IKEA effect, because if you build it, you'll appreciate it more. Isn't that a great idea?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so keep that in mind.
Okay, here's our next idea. This one comes from At Home Hacks. She's showing us how to turn a simple IKEA cube storage block into a wine rack. Here we go. Start with a 4-block storage cube, turn it upside down, then install 2 under cabinet wine racks. Flip it back over, add your glasses. You can add baskets in the bottom, 2 cubes for storage, and your wine bottles on top, and then decorate with a few of your favorite items. And if you don't drink wine, well, you can easily turn this into a beverage bar of your choice.
Put coffee mugs possibly, or some kind of glasses that hang. Very cool.
Well, now let's check in with our home improvement guy, Gator, and why you need a good tape measure.
Everybody needs a good tape measure, okay? I get a lot of questions about the tape measures that I use. There's a lot of different brands out there that are good. I use Stanley Fat Max. I think Milwaukee's pretty good. They have some other brands. This is just what I've always used forever. If you're buying those tape measures from the dollar store and those little $4 tape measures, you ain't doing nothing. They always break. They ain't worth a damn. This is what you need, is a good tape measure. You buy one like this, you're not going to need another one. Now, I like to use 16-footer. That's really all you need for around the house. Unless you're framing houses or something like that, you're not going to need a big tape measure. So this right here, I'm going to go over a couple things. So on the end of these tape measures, it moves a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch, okay? People always talk about that. It's supposed to do that. That way when you butt something and read it, it's going to be the same as when you hook it and read it, because it takes up for that little 1/8 of an inch that's missing off the end of the tape measure, okay? Another thing people don't always realize is every 16 inches, it's going to be a red mark. Every 16 inches is red. That way you can lay out studs if you're building walls and things like that. And something else other people don't know is there's these little black diamonds on here, okay? About every 19 1/8 or so right there. And what that is that just lays out, if you're laying out floor joists and things like that. Most people are never going to use that stuff, but if you do, that's what it's on there. People see it all the time, don't have a clue what it is. And also every 8 feet, you're going to see another diamond. And it's going to be like a white diamond, just like this, with a black outline on it. Every 8 feet, you're going to have that on there. And you can just pull the tape measure out. That's what the diamonds are for, to make marks. So if you don't know, now you know.
Love that guy. Great info. More Flash coming up right after this.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Varsity Spirit is launching the first ever professional cheerleading league, and it will give top athletes a chance to go pro with contracts and national exposure. Here's more.
Thanks for having us. Well, it's the perfect time to introduce the Pro Cheer League. Exciting news and the logical next step for cheerleading. From where we started in the early 70s, introducing the partner stunts, the pyramids, the basket tosses, to introducing cheerleading to television on ESPN in the early 80s, to the Olympic movement, on to stunt, which is now the fastest growing female sport in the country. The Pro Cheer League is the logical next step, and we're excited to offer this to all the elite athletes out there in America.
Pro Cheer is going to be like nothing you've ever seen before, taking the best of cheerleading in all different disciplines and the most elite athletes. So we are launching 4 teams for this inaugural season, and they will be in Miami, Atlanta, Dallas, and San Diego. And we'll have 5 events throughout the country starting in January of 2026. We're starting the season off in Indianapolis, then we'll head to Atlanta, Houston, Anaheim, and wrap up the season in Nashville, Tennessee at the end of March. This will be an unreal experience for both athletes and fans in the crowd and watching at home. We're going to have 3 rounds of competition. The 4 teams will go head-to-head in the first 2 rounds. Think high-flying stunts, basket tosses, incredible tumbling pass, spins, flips. I mean, you name it, they're going to do it there. A lot of excitement. And then we'll wrap up the 3rd round with more of a traditional routine like you've probably seen on ESPN. It'll be 2.5 to 3 minutes. You'll see some creative choreography and, of course, those elite skills. We'd love to tell you more. We will be making more announcements in the coming weeks, so make sure you're tuned in to ProCheerLeague.com and, of course, on social media at ProCheerLeague.
Well, joining us now with tips on how to get the most out of your summer season, we have lifestyle expert Megan Murphy.
Camping as a summer getaway has always been very popular, and we're really excited to welcome campers back this season. Our campers are really telling us that they want comfort, convenience, and a large dose of nostalgia this year, a way to disconnect from their devices and reconnect around the campfire. Camping is an amazing budget-friendly option for travel. So at KOA, we're a very amenity-rich campground. So you'll find pools and jumping pads and events and activities all on our campground. If you're traveling in an RV, we've got beautiful RV sites with hookups and patios, from tent camping to one of our favorites, which is our deluxe camping option. Rooms, bathroom, and it's really easy just to pack up a bag and get out into the outdoors with our deluxe cabins. Please visit us at KOA.com, and while you're there, visit our blog for lots of tips and tricks to get out into camping this summer.
Well, Snoop Dogg is barking back at some of the haters. The beloved rapper faced some backlash after he performed at President Trump's inauguration back in January. But the Drop It Like It's Hot MC turned the controversy into creativity, inspiring his surprise new LP, Is It a Crime? He said it shouldn't matter who's in office and defended his decision to perform. He says he's not a Democrat or a Republican, just an artist reaching out to fans on both sides of the aisle. And I remember this kind of controversy started brewing when Michael Jordan did something, and he's like, look, Republicans and Democrats both buy tennis shoes. I'm not going to alienate one versus the other.
Which is smart.
Yes.
Well, you know, we're all a society that we all have different opinions and that sort of thing. And it's I tend to see this more when somebody goes to the more conservative side, is when we start to see ruffles being feathers being ruffled, or ruffled being feathered. Who knows? But
Ruffles has a new feather.
Yes, it's delicious. It tastes like feathers. It gets caught in the back of your hair. It's got ridges though. So, you know, and here, and I think there's also a point where you make so much money, do you really even care? And I think that's where he's at right now.
And I'm glad that he came out and said this, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, he's not bending to some sort of ridiculous, nonsensical pressure that really doesn't exist. Like, this cancel culture thing had its moment, and thank God I think it's finally gone.
And I think we needed it so we could see, like, this is where the extremes are. And I think it's, you know, going back a little bit because people are getting tired of that sort of thing. And you know what? Either way, it's important. If you like Snoop Dogg before, if you could separate any kind of, which he's not even bringing up the politics, because like, look, this is the President of the United States I performed for.
Yes.
You know, look at it as a national thing. And he didn't necessarily endorse either side or whatever. Just walk away from it. Does it really matter?
It does, and this is why I shake my head sometimes when certain sports teams get flack depending on who's in the White House. They shouldn't. It's an honor to be invited regardless who the president is. To 100%. Be able to go to the White House and celebrate your championship, that's phenomenal.
I would do it.
Yeah.
Rachel Zoe, we know her. She's a designer. She decided that she's going to join the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Ooh.
This all follows her divorce from husband Roger Berman. Now, the famous Hollywood stylist shocked Bravo fans when she announced that she would be the latest cast member to be a part of the season 15 lineup. Word has it that securing a Bravo paycheck was apparently a big factor for agreeing to be on the show. Rachel, she has a reported $30 million net worth. She married Roger back in 1996. They have 2 kids together. Wow. And this is one, I was actually so excited to come into work and tell Hugo this. I go, hey, you know Rachel Zoe? Because I know that. joining the housewives.
Yeah.
Because if we have any housewife question, we go to Hugo.
Hugo is our guy.
And
for
so,
sure.
but yeah, and I like her. I think I love her designs and stuff. I think she's going to add, hopefully, what we always generally see. And Hugo, you see these people, they're innocent when they start off. Yeah. And they get on these housewife shows, and then by the time they're 180 of what they used to be.
Bad
or did we get to know them?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we get to we see their true selves.
So if I don't watch Rachel Zoe on this, then she'll always be the person I think she is, right?
Okay. So maybe you won't watch it.
I shouldn't have said that because you at home are probably not going to watch me once you find out more about me.
Despite owning a number of restaurants across the globe, celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay explains why he does not eat at his own restaurants. Ramsay has made his name helping people fix their kitchens and advises them on how to run their businesses in a number of his celebrity shows. The celebrity chef admits not going to his own restaurants. He knows it sounds strange, but he says he's only eaten at one of his venues twice in the last 25 years, and he was on a recent episode of Smartlist discussing the reason why he doesn't do this, and it's because he feels like there's this weird line between being the owner of a restaurant and the head chef and being a customer, and he doesn't like to blur those lines because he feels it sends the wrong message.
Having growing up in restaurants, my parents owned restaurants growing up, I can't necessarily say I can relate to this or whatever, but I would imagine, like if you was a big restaurant and the big boss came in, you're not going to get the same food that you would get any other day of the week, because we got to make sure we do good. And possibly that is a thing. If you haven't heard this Smartlist thing, by the way, you got 2 Smartlist disciples here. This is a great.
We love them so much.
Podcast.
Yeah.
But this one, I changed my attitude about Gordon Ramsay.
Me
I really
too.
liked him a lot to find out more about how much of a family man that he is, and that he and his wife been together for so long, and the fact that he came from nothing.
Yes.
And I'm telling you nothing. He was talking about how, you have school pictures, I guess, over there in the UK. They had to put them all together, and the school had to pay for their, the school does it free, but when they do that, they get all the kids together in a family.
And other kids would make fun of him because he had to take his school picture with his other
with
siblings.
his sibling, which is little things like that.
I know.
But I appreciate that. We appreciate you.
Yes.
We're not done yet, are we?
No, we're not. There's so much more of today's trend.
Streaming for the weekend.
Hey, before we head into the weekend, we always give you our picks for streaming for the weekend. This is where we tell you something you got to check out on your streaming services. First up, Andrea, what's your pick?
I love a good documentary. This one caught my eye. My pick for this weekend is the new 3-part documentary on HBO, The Mortician.
David Sconce was doing something that was either illegal or immoral.
I could cremate one guy in like 2 hours, or you could put 10 of them in there and take 2.5 hours. So what would be the difference?
Well, it's one of those that will just sort of stop you in your tracks and think about cremation and your loved one and what could possibly be happening when you're really only supposed to cremate one body and they're actually burning up to 200
using
at a time.
meat hooks to pull them in there.
Well, there's that, and then also, when you have your pets cremated, it costs more for you to get your pet back.
Yeah.
And
really?
it not be mixed with everything.
Yes.
Yeah, my dad had to pay that.
But there's no guarantee that they're not mixing your pet with somebody else. It's nuts.
It's insane.
It's jaw-dropping.
Well, my pick this week is the 2nd season of Tires on Netflix, starring Shane Gillis and Steve Gerben.
You like being a mechanic? I did, but now I don't know.
Don't you eventually want to move up to manager?
You do not want me to be a manager.
He just wants the place to be successful. It seems like he wants you to be a big part of it.
I'm gonna ruin this.
Shane?
It's so irrelevant and so funny, and I was texting you over the weekend while I was watching it. There's a convention they go to, and I'm like, well, it's spot on. It's the same stuff. It's spot on. It's hilarious.
I can't wait to see that episode. Shadowy figures, high-stake hunts, and attention that'll snap you in half. Peacock's The Day of the Jackal. It's locked, loaded, and ready to strike. Check it out.
Who's the target?
My clients need to know if you think it's possible.
It'll cost.
It's a slick, modern thriller about a professional assassin hunted across Europe. Eddie Redmayne, chillingly good.
Oh, yeah.
Check it out now on streaming on Peacock. He's a really good actor.
He's so good.
I couldn't believe it.
Totally underrated.
I don't know if I should say I was rooting for him, and and you're not supposed to.
No.
That's how good he was.
It's the anti-heroes stuff that's going on.
Big stuff. That does it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you when we look at you. Bye-bye.
you.